For many years, I struggled with something. And that something that I was struggling with was what was holding me back in my life, you know, with the things that I wanted to achieve in my life. And that was self doubt. You know, I wasn't believing in myself. You know, I didn't feel that I was capable of achieving certain things in my life. I was struggling with self worth. But today, I want to share with you how I overcame self doubt and started believing in myself again. Again, let me think. For the first time in my life, when I started believing in myself, because even as a young child, you know, uh, I struggled with self esteem. No, I take that back because I was athletic. I was athletic in school, but I didn't have a voice. My voice was drowned out by others, you know, or my ability, my thinking that my ability wasn't worth it because I would compare myself with other people, places, or things, and I would feel that they were better than me. They did things better than me. You know, they I would feel that, what I had to offer wasn't good enough. I would often question my abilities. I wouldn't take action because I was afraid of making mistakes. I thought if I made mistakes that, people would laugh at me, or, you know, people would talk about me, you know, and that happened early in my life, but let me tell you, I was athletic. I was athletic in school, all sports. I did it: baseball, football, basketball. I did those things as in my younger days, but I guess along the way, you know, sometime when you're in school, um, you, well, I'll redirect that and bring it strictly back to me. When growing up in school, some kids would tease me because I was quiet, and they felt like they can do these things to the quiet person. And it happened. And I always felt that I was an outsider. I felt that I was different, and I couldn't understand the difference because I looked like them, you know, and um, I was smart, but then I started dumbing myself down because I kept feeling that I wasn't smart enough. I didn't think that I looked good enough. I thought I was ugly. And over time, then I started uh, getting into sports. And when I got into sports, that helped me see that I was good enough, because when I put my mind to doing something, when I'm focused on something, I try to be good at it. You know, I try to, block out the noise around me and totally have blinders and focus directly ahead in what it is that was my interest at that time. And I was good. I was good in athletics, you know? So my abilities, I started believing in myself again, and I was happy that people was cheering me on and was patting me on my back. That made me feel like, okay, I'm a part of a crowd. I'm a part of a group. They love me. you know, I felt like I had attention from my mother, and you know the siblings who supported me. I felt good enough. You know, I felt like, you know, my voice didn't matter, but my abilities mattered. So I always tried to achieve things athletically, or I tried to achieve things in school. I loved English. I loved writing papers. I loved doing research. And growing up, I loved books. So what I did as a young girl, because I separated myself from the noise that was telling me that I wasn't good enough. And they were telling, no, they weren't. This was my mind. In my head, I was telling myself, because of the actions of people around me, that I was telling myself that I wasn't good enough. So what I did is I found the public library, and I started going to the public library. I was in awe. I was in third heaven going to that library, because then I started changing my mindset. I started thinking different. I was looking forward to, another day, or, I can get through all the things that I was going through in life that was coming toward me to make me have self-esteem issues, and that was making me have doubt in my abilities. I started going to the library, and it opened up a world inside my head that I never knew imagined, outside of being in school and having to learn the things that I had to learn in school. But the books that was expanding my mind. It opened a mindset in me that I believed. Look, that song. Okay, let me share that. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Sorry, I had to get that out. But, to a kid, when a world starts opening up to you, and your imagination starts, going all over the place, That was okay. Stay with me, focusing on me. That was my secret hiding place, going to the library. I would go to the library every single day. After school, you know, um, sometime on a Saturday, if my parents wasn't didn't have something planned, because I had to go to church every Sunday. You know, I had to go to choir practice all the time. And at least they didn't make us go to Bible study every single time, but we did have to go to Bible study too, you know. But when my mind opened up in that way as a young kid, now certain parts of me believed in myself, but then there was another part of me that still had issues because there were, you know, things about me that I would clam up on. You know, I would shut down if and that all had to do with self-esteem. Now, as a young kid, you can read books on self-esteem and whatnot. So as you get older, well, I take that back. Let me finish that. As a kid, you can read those things about self-esteem. You can read books about, you know, that would expand your thinking more. But some things you need guidance with to help you grow beyond just the words that's on the pages. And I struggled with certain things because some things I wasn't familiar with, but I was in awe in reading that, oh, these things are like this. This is how this is. But it wasn't until I became older that I did more research, extensive research in self-esteem, self-worth. You know, my eyes opened and I wrote a paper for myself, not even for school, but I was motivated to write a paper. And what I do, I, I, I published it somewhere and it got attention. I can't remember where I published it. It was so long ago. But it was something that I believed in that helped me to, you know, start recognizing that, I'm worthy. You know, and I'm not going to say everything I was able to, you know, bring everything in together all at one time, because it took steps over years. It took steps because, you know, you deal with life and you come into awareness of who you are in each part of your life. And sometimes life comes in fast and it takes you over to the point to where, you know, before you know it, you're at another stage in your life and you're still dealing with self-esteem issues and you're still dealing with self-worth issues. Now, one day I realized that nobody was coming in to save me. I realized that nobody was coming in to give me self-esteem. So what I did is I took one step at a time. I got pencil and paper and I wrote down goals that I wanted to achieve. And as I achieved those goals one at a time, I crossed it out. And in my mind, how I celebrated is like, wow, I achieved that. And before I wrote a whole list of things, and then I crossed each one of them out as I achieved it. And I didn't focus on, the list itself. I focused on achieving. I put the most important thing there, and then I went down that list and I started working that list. And then as I started crossing those things out, I just kept going, and kept going until it was all done. The list was done. And I took a step back and looked at that list, and I said, I surprised myself. I accomplished these things. And I was happy. I was so elated. I had to celebrate myself. I couldn't sit around waiting for somebody else to come and celebrate me, because if I did, I would be still waiting. So what I did is, I found ways to reward myself of accomplishments. And so I started again with a new list. And I, repeated those processes. And next thing you know, I'm like, I did that. I did that. I'm capable of doing these things. My self-esteem was so high. My self-worth was so high, to the point to where I believed that I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every day. So it's like, I'm letting people know that if you don't have people that you can surround yourself with knowledge. Because soon you're going to meet people who think like you. You're going to meet people who talk like you. And you're going to meet people who want to be in your company, who want to grow with you. And I'm not talking about people need to speak the same verbiage that I speak. I don't care if you speak slang. One thing about it, I had a nonprofit organization where I was working in the community with people young and old. And I related to them. They saw me as Miss Michelle. They saw me as being the older person. I was always a professional dressed person back then. And I'll do that now, but now I don't mind dressing, in a different way, for whatever the occasion causes for. But back then, when, with my business and the people that I interacted with, they loved communicating with me, even though I speak different or spoke different. But they were able to say, Miss Michelle accepts me no matter who I am, no matter how, I talk. Miss Michelle, is that type of a person who will listen to me, and she won't judge me, but she'll help me, because I am that type person. I want to see the best for everybody. But in order for me to be able to see the best for everybody, I have to give it to myself also. And I have to believe in myself. and I have to believe in my abilities. Now, what I did in the past is I would practice affirmations. You know, I would listen to motivational CDs, and I would even meditate because that cleared my head, cleared my mind of all the negative feedback that was around. So I learned how to focus and be intentional in what I respond to or the type of conversations that I would have or the type of people who I wanted to be around so that I wouldn't be involved in negativity. So I had to be intentional about my life. And I loved my life. I love my life now. I love growth. I love I love being able to um, make positive steps ahead of me, growth. So I'm saying all of this to say that anyone who have a YouTube channel and they are stuck in a particular place, if you're dealing with self-esteem issues or are you dealing with self-worth issues or if you're dealing with, you know, a fear of failing, you don't have to have all of those things like that because you can, certain things you are capable of doing and certain things you can believe in yourself about. But if you have a fear that's stopping you from being the best that you can be on YouTube, if you have a fear where the noise is coming in there saying that you're going to fail, just know that's a lie. You can do anything that you set your mind to. All you have to do is plan, organize, and set a goal of how you're going to execute it and be good at it. Block out your surroundings and focus on what it is that you want to achieve and do it with confidence. Even if you don't have the confidence right now, do it anyway because if practice makes perfect. I'm not good at speaking on this camera. I'm not, you know, yeah, Miss Michelle still deal with certain things, but they're mild. It's not as big as it used to be. But I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna achieve it anyway. So, dears, I want you to take your first step. You have your camera, your phone, or your laptop, you know, and you know how to push that record button. Have your papers organized, your plan, agenda, you know, uh, organize it so that you can know what to do first, second, third, fourth, call to action, and upload your video. Upload your video and just know that when you upload your video, know that it's a good one and you've done your best. So, guys, Thank you so much for listening to Miss Michelle again another day. And I appreciate you coming. And don't forget to like, share, and comment in the comment section. Even if you just do a thumbs up or give me a fire. And I'll see you in the next video.